Hello all, Alan here. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite directors. These directors have not only influenced me, but inspired me to make some of my own films. There's a lot of directors on this list, so I'm going to try to breeze through the honorable mentions, and then we will talk about the top 10 directors. Okay, let's go. John Carpenter, iconic horror director and great composer whose films are masterfully made for very small budgets. Wes Anderson, the quirkiest director out there. He has sculpted his own world of film that it's easy to replicate but hard to master. His craftsmanship is undeniably great. David Cronenberg, king of body horror, but also great storyteller and filmmaker. Create the world of his own through production design and atmosphere. Paul Thomas Anderson, crazy good filmmaker, consistently making great films with amazing cast, usually about character studies about men with daddy issues. Werner Herzog, the weirdest but most humane filmmaker of all time, one who captures the underbelly of the world with a beautiful lens. Martin Scorsese, probably the most popular director of all time. His films are effortlessly cool and editing is top-notch. Also one of the only filmmakers in his class to consistently put out bangers in 6 different decades. Hal Ashby, classic American indie director, also was a hippie. Ashby's films are sequential 70s film full of grit, but also with a tinge of quirkiness. A witty and humorous screenwriter as well. Todd Haynes, great director and also a gay icon. Haynes' film can be defined as intimately creepy, but also very damn good. Richard Linklater, one of the most down-to-earth filmmakers. Linklater makes films simply about life and the small, sometimes inconsequential moments that happen in them. His films may seem simple, but trust me, are they ever so deep. Brian De Palma, a stylistic and out-of-bounds director. His films tried new and weird techniques such as split diopter, bird's eye view, and even fourth perspective. Some of his good films include Blowout, Hi Mom, and Scarface. Robert Bresson, really sorry he couldn't make the list. He is a huge inspiration to me. King of the minimal style, love close-ups and existential and detached characters. Best films include A Man Escaped, Pickpocket, and A Hawther Balthazar. Here we go, top 10. Number 10, Michael Mann, an action director whose films are more meditative and slow than regular action films. Very stylistic, moody, and cool are the worlds these characters live in, but also feel a sort of detachment from. Films action in an ethereal and spiritual way. Best films include Manhunter, Heat, and Thief. Number 9, Wong Kar-wai. Again, a stylistically masterful director. Wong's films are moody, stylistic, hyper-imagined worlds. His films are just damn cool. His best films include In the Mood for Love, Chungking Express, and Happy Together. Number 8, Jean-Pierre Melville. French director most known for making dark and gloomy films about crime and punishment, complemented by his minimal style and knack of moody and atmospheric cinematography. Best films: Le Samurai, Army of Shadows, and Un Flic. Number 7, Stanley Kubrick. Hailed to many as the greatest director of all time, mainly due to his consistency of making great films with stunning mise-en-scène and cinematography. Kubrick is simply very talented at filmmaking, and his films look like better than any director I've ever seen. Best films? All of them. Number 6, Wim Wenders, dubbed King of the Road Trip Film. Wenders' films feel like an exercise in patience, as the films feel as long as the trips the characters take. Best films: Paris, Texas, The American Friend, and Wings of Desire. The top 5. Number 5, Terrence Malick. one of the most unique people. Malick is a very spiritual and meditative person, and his films reflect that by being very loose on story, but very strong on mood and tone. Best films: Badlands, Days of Heaven, Tree of Life, and The Thin Red Line. Number 4. Jim Jarmusch. Indie-American director who plays with humor in a witty and psychological sort of way. His films are filled with quotes of passages of ancient and historical literature. Best films: Dead Man, Down by Law, and Ghost Talk, Way of the Samurai. Number 3. David Lynch. Master of ambient horror, and much like Wes Anderson, his characters live in a surreal type of world. His use of nightmare imagery and weird performances make his film surreal, eerie, and not like anyone else's. Best films include Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, and Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. Number 2. John Cassavetes, a true independent filmmaker who captures some of the best performances of all time. Since being an actor himself, he knows how to work with actors, especially his wife, Gena Rowlands. Best film: A Woman Under the Influence, Faces, and Killing of a Chinese Bookie. And my favorite director of all time, number 1, Robert Altman. Classic Americana indie filmmaker whose films feel like views into the past due to his fascination with long-lens cinematography, elaborate camera movement, and giant casts. His best films include Nashville, The Player, and McCabe and Miss Miller. And there you go. That is my favorite directors. Thank you very much for watching, and check out some of these films if you have not, and check out these directors if you have not. Thank you, and good night.